So it's just reflecting on the seasons. It's springtime, and everything is coming to life again. We've been very fortunate having this last couple of weeks. The sun's really been out, clear, sunny days. And all the trees are sort of rushing to send out leaves, flowers on various trees, and everything is kind of bursting with life. But thinking about it again, and the reason why all this greenery is starting to come out, is because the roots are healthy, the roots are strong, and because without those strong roots, then the trees wouldn't flower. The leaves wouldn't be growing as healthily. And it's quite similar in our practice. Oftentimes we're looking for the fruits or the visible signs of our practice somehow, some kind of affirmation that we're not dead inside. But the fruits of our practice come from the roots that we paying attention to our roots in our practice. It's like the really attending to the fundamentals in the training. I was thinking of, and what came to mind was a story that Ajahn Vajiro told of his. I think he was still a layperson, and was in Hampstead Vihara, and was washing a alms bowl, and Ajahn Chah was visiting at the time and came over and I saw what he was doing and how he was doing it, and came over and started teaching him how to look after the alms bowl. And he said, Sumedho will teach you how to get to Nibbana. I'll teach you how to look after an alms bowl. So that incredibly kind lesson in fundamentals, and it's something that is quite typical of say Ajahn Chah's way of teaching, way of practice, and where all the different elements of practice go together, and they're not, it's not opposed to each other. It's not either or. It's not just practice for Nibbana, or just look after the details. And it's you start realizing how these work together, how they integrate with each other, and looking after the details of our daily life and realizing that from moment to moment we do have the opportunity to realize and to awakening. It is as the we chant it all the time, and we recollect the Sanditigo. This is apparent here and now. This is a here and now practice. It's imminent. It's not bound by time. It's a kaliko. It's not bound by time. So the sense of bringing the practice into the present moment, into this present moment mindfulness, present moment awareness, and awakening. But we've still got to deal with this present moment, and having these practical things to be alert and attentive to. So say as a young monk, living at Wat Pah Pong, training with Ajahn Chah, I don't know how many times I heard Ajahn Chah or any of the other senior Ajahns emphasizing over and over, noi, put, noi, sort of the, eat little, sleep little, speak little, which are kind of, say admonishments for simplicity and then bringing the attention into the fundamentals, but also it harkens to what the Buddha said, say apanaka patibata, practices and trainings that are incontrovertible or that are of a sure course. They lead one to a certain outcome. I mean, they're the foundations, fundamentals that say you can never go wrong with, and that Indriya Samvara is the first one. There's this restraint of the senses, and being mindful and not sort of just following impulses and getting caught up in likes and dislikes and the fascinations and aversions of the things that we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, or think about, moods that we have. That attending to that continuity of sati sampajanya, mindfulness and clear comprehension, a mindful and awareness and a full awareness and a sense of being grounded in the experience of what we're doing. So that sense of this, the restraint of the senses is not just a clamping down and restraining, but is a attending carefully to taking the time to pay attention, because so often the mind pulls us out, moods pull us out. the sense of our what is attractive or unattractive. It just pulls on the mind, and we get swept up, and we get carried away. So and one of the I think one of the ways of an important way, I feel, of having that restraint of the senses is having a good body awareness, having a kind of a gravity that is anchored in body awareness. As the sense of having the sense of touch and the sense of the elements of the body really helps the settling or anchoring, so that the mind isn't too swept out and swept up. Bhojane matanyuta, moderation in eating, that sense of knowing what is, and there isn't each person is quite different, and we're different at different times. What is moderation for us? What is just right? You have to pay attention to what's the effect of, because it's when you eat too much, one gets drowsy, one gets sleepy, and especially here at Amaravati, it's not very far to your rooms and your beds. It's one of the great benefits of, say, Abhayagiri Monastery, where Ajahn Amaro and I lived, and where I still live. And everything is, from especially after the meal, everything is uphill, and nothing's close by. And so then, even if you overeat, you got to work to get back to your kuti and find your bed there, and by that time you got energy again. But it's here but wherever you are, you really have to pay attention, because it affects the mind, and it can affect the whole rest of the day. I say, as meditators, one has to tune in to the effect that the things like eating have on you, or what kind of foods one eats. How does it affect one? There's an incredible range of what we're capable of as human beings, and there's nothing absolutely fixed, and but there is a sense of really trying to be alert and attentive to what is just right, what's just enough, what's enough to give one energy and alertness, be healthy and in good physical health, a certain lightness and brightness of the body and the mind, not overly concerned with food. And I've lived in monasteries for a long time, and I can, the various food obsessions that people go through can consume people. So just a sense of it's fuel, and it's also it's offered for by the generosity of the lay community for the monastics to continue their training, and reflecting on that, there's this great sense of gratitude and appreciation, and certainly I've been here a couple months now, a little over 2 months, and Amaravati is very well looked after. People are extremely generous and kind to want to take care of us as a community. So it helps to reflect on that, the nature of that offering, and using the food. So that this sense, that moderation in eating is eating so that it's of maximum benefit for our spiritual welfare and for the welfare of others. And so it's just keeping it that. And there's always, as I said, there's always differences in different people, have different metabolisms, have different needs, or as one gets older, the needs change. So it's just being a source of mindfulness and reflection and paying attention. The last one of the Apanaka Dhammas is practices of a sure course is what's called Chakariyana Yoga, and that is a dedication to wakefulness. So what gets translated in Thai as sleep little, but that's not really the main thrust of it. Yes, it's maybe not indulging in sleep, but it's learning what is enough sleep to be alert and awake. And so that, and then even if one it's not just with one's sleep, how much one sleeps, but that dedication to wakefulness, even in the day, when you're doing your chores, be alert, be present, be wakeful. Sitting in meditation, be alert, be wakeful. The dedication to wakefulness, because this one of the primary meanings of the word Buddha is awake. So that this sense of the Buddha being an awakened being, and for, say, us as disciples of the Buddha, and dedication to also awakening. So then bringing alertness and presence of mind into whatever we're doing, and particularly in the meditation, it's just so important to not just drift off. When one establishes a theme for one's meditation, it's really important to take an interest in it and to use it as a tool to help lift up the quality of alertness and presence. Because we can take, say, an object of attention. You can even take the word, say, Buddha, which is the classic meditation word, a meditation technique in the northeast of Thailand. Just that repetition on the in-breath, Bud, on the out-breath, To, Buddho. Literally meaning, in Thai translation, the one who knows, the awakened one, the bright one. And you can put yourself to sleep on Buddho, Buddho, just conk out. And it's just really miss the point. So that that dedication to wakefulness is just so important to bring up as a reminder. As our practice is really does grow. When we attend to these roots of practice, that mindfulness and clear comprehension, being restrained in the senses, having that indriya samvara. There's an anchoring and a grounding in the way we contact the world around us and our inner world. The fundamentals of how we are nourished and nurtured, the food that we take, and just the nourishment that we take in. Well, on a physical level, we realize we nourish ourselves in many different ways. Because also just even the, on another level, a nutriment that the Buddha points to is sense contact. Because we seek sense contact for our nutriment, feeding our fantasies, feeding our aversions, feeding our stories about me and the world around. And we feed them, and we seek that. So that recognizing that sense restraint is such a helpful tool for moderation, and not just in the physical food, but in the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we get swept up in internally, and projection out into the world. That is the sense of contentment is such an important quality for a practitioner, to be easily contented. And of course that contentment, of course, with the, especially with the, say, like with our meditation object. Picking up a meditation object and being content with staying with it, dwelling in it, nourishing our clarity and well-being with the meditation, the process of meditation, taking the interest in that process, rather than trying to just force the mind into some kind of submission, or getting swept up in fantasies of within the practice. So these aspects of fundamentals of practice. They're saying that eat little, sleep little, speak little. They're kind of like key phrases that are pointing to something really important, and that indriya sanvara, sense restraint. Bhojane matanyuta, the moderation in eating. Chakarayana yoga, the devotion to wakefulness. These are they're kind of windows on how to nurture, look after, nourish the roots of our practice, and so that we can use those fundamentals as a means of recognizing what is the mind actually doing. How do I return to this quality of just knowing as it is, this fundamentals of the living in awakened awareness, this quality of an awakened knowing. Because it's not just an abstract concept, it's how we live the Dhamma, it's how we live our practice. And so just learning how to make this practice into something that is practical, is practicable. So that as we do that, then it's a sure course of action. There's this apanika patibhata. It will surely bring good results. It's like the image that the Buddha gives of a log being dropped in a river, and as long as that log or that branch doesn't get caught up on one bank of the river or the other bank of the river, or get caught in a sandbar somewhere in the middle, then it will surely go out to the ocean. That's the nature of. That's how nature functions, and the natural world is like that. And so that our practice of Dhamma is not that different. And it's just as long as we commit ourselves or give ourselves to getting into the stream of Dhamma, and into that river of Dhamma, and not get caught in the bank of liking or the bank of disliking or the bank of our loves and hates, or our sense of being and becoming, or not being, non-becoming, the bhava tanha, vibhava tanha opposites. These different opposites, that we were able to use the practice as a vehicle for following that flow, following the stream of Dhamma, and then not getting caught in the sandbars of sloth and torpor, or lassitude, or a dullness of mind, or getting stuck in doubt somehow. Then the nature of that stream is going to take us to liberation. It's going to take us to awakening. It's just the way nature works. It's just being able to give ourselves to to this practice, give ourselves to this training, and use the opportunity skillfully. This is the opportunity that we have. So I'll offer that for reflection this evening.